Joining us on 710 KURV is Pallavi Ahluwalia. She's an immigration expert, an immigration attorney who has been through this herself. She went through the process, but she did it the right way, and she's here to tell us more about.
But we don't know if she did or not.
Yes, right. I'm sorry, Pallavi.
Sorry.
If you did it,
Sorry.
that doesn't matter. We're good.
Good. Thank you very much.
Yes.
What amongst immigration lawyers within your circle, is there any end in sight to this flood on the southern border?
It is just very, very alarming and also very concerning. Why, when there are obviously at this time, it's very clear that the welcome carpet from the U.S. is not on for the immigrants, especially crossing the border illegally, and at this point, there are droves and droves of people that are showing up. So there seems to be a disconnect between the stance of the government here in the U.S. Pertaining to the people that are coming through the border and the immigrants themselves who seem to be relentless in their pursuit to just enter the country. So something is completely amiss. Now, just on the rumor circuit, what we had heard was that there are a lot of smugglers that keep on saying that, that President Trump is about to completely shut off the border, so this may be their last time. So they're actually inciting people to show up. So they are enticing them, they're inciting them. So I think there is some bad information that is out there in those triangular countries of Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador, and that's what's causing a lot of people to come through.
I'm most surprised since in 2014 we were told that there was talk that if you come north you'll get a permission to stay, a permiso to stay, and of course that was not true. But then the U.S. government bought ads and did some sort of public information campaign to tell them not. I'm surprised that that's not going on now, because I've heard the same thing. We've heard the same thing you have, which is that the bad guys, the cartels, the mafias, are going down there. They're drumming up business. They're good businessmen. They're trying to get people to come buy their service, which is we'll take you to the southern U.S. border. Why? I don't know. Say something.
Yes, I mean, that's completely concerning and not sure as to why it's happening right now.
They're making money. They're making more. Oh God, they're making more money on human beings than they are on drugs.
Yes, they are. And I think if you were to maybe phrase what's happening like that, maybe not so blunt or so in your face, like if you are for open borders or if you want these people to cross into this country, you are in essence supporting cartels, because these immigrants are paying cartel people $300 to $500 per head. But real quickly, Davis, I wanted to go back to what you said about permiso. I know, Pallavi, hold on, about permiso, how we were told that they were told over there in Central America, if you just come, they'll give you permiso. I think that technically is kind of true, because their permiso is asking for asylum, because once they cross illegally, and a majority of those 1 million we talked about that have crossed are crossing illegally, but once they get processed, they are no longer illegal, they are now legal. So I think that is their permiso to be here in this country for however long until they get their court date.
Once they're processed by the border officers, and then they make their claims for asylum. And they're put into the processing, then and once their case is pending, that they do seek employment authorization at that point, and that's what they're asking for. There was talk about that being removed. I haven't followed up with that as to whether the employment authorization documents are actually going to be given or not. I think I did notice some news item that said that the administration was saying that they're going to stop that. Not sure about how that worked out. But at this time, whatever the selling point is, and I think U.S. has invested a lot of money into all these countries through some NGOs, the local non-governmental organizations, which can give employment, keep the people there. They've done a lot of things in these countries, but still, when we have droves and droves of people coming, and I think it's just not suiting what's going on right now. It's not like where U.S. is putting an ad out there saying, come here and we'll give you asylum. It's the opposite of that, right? We're saying we don't want you, and they're coming still. So something has to be fixed in those countries of origination. And of course, there may be corruption in those countries. They are developing countries.
They're corrupt
not
and violent.
there. There may be some issues that are going on. But So what's happening also, however, that we have to consider is that there may be some asylum seekers that are genuine, that actually are genuine, that are going to get thrown out because of this whole mess and this whole rhetoric that exists in the system currently against the people that are coming into the country at the border. For most of them that are making up the stories, of course, they should not be welcome. But then how do you sort out the good from the bad, the meritorious from the ones that are just making up a story? So this is really, truly a huge mess.
I think that's what's getting people so upset is that you have people that really do have legitimate asylum claims, but they're getting pushed back to the back of the line because you have a majority of them that are coming and making up stories like you're saying. I know that something needs to be done, and I know Congress has the power to do something, but I just feel it's only, hold on, going back to what you said, Pallavi, about how we are saying it's the opposite. We're not offering, hey, come over here. We're opening our borders. But when you have, yes, when you have, say me, I have an aunt and uncle that they're making the journey to the U.S. and I'm in El Salvador. And even though I'm seeing in the news something, I'm going to believe what they said and what they went through. And what they're going through is, hey, you cross the border, you ask for asylum, and then that's it. You're in here and you're good for the next 5-6 years or whenever your court dates due. But then by then, who knows what's going to happen? So even though the U.S. is spending money in these campaigns saying, hey, don't come, stay there, to me, word of mouth is what's really pushing them over here. And how we're not really doing anything.
I think the stop should be for those cartels. I don't know what else to be done.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they should be targeting of the cartels or the smugglers that are doing that, as opposed to the people who are feeling the impact of it. You know, there are a bunch of them that are being held. And what if, like, out of the 19,000 that are right now in U.S. custody, there may be a decent amount that may be actually legal claimants to asylum.
Yeah.
Right? So, but they're also going to go through. They have kids that are coming here. We've heard of some deaths in CBP custody. So what happens is when there are such broad strokes that are happening, then people lose patience and the humanity of a human being goes away. Right? So then we're just looking at it more as a policy issue. They're not welcome. People are not being treated as people. Some of them are, some of them are not. So it's just a huge mess.
Well, if we don't stop and bid you farewell, and thank you very much for your time this afternoon, we're going to be in a huge mess time-wise, but we'll call you again. Always a pleasure.
Thank you so much,
yes,
and
ma'am.
all the best to y'all.
Thank you. That is Pallavi Ahluwalia, an immigration attorney, our guest on 710 KURV.